The regular season is winding down for both the boys and the girls. Nets are being cut in Stewart as the Federal Hocking boys win their third title in 4 years.
And the Nelsonville-York girls celebrate their TVC Ohio title. And a record-breaking performance lifts Alexander over Trimble.
Hardwood Heroes starts right now!
The TVC is hitting the hardwood stronger than ever, and that means it's time for Hardwood Heroes. Welcome back. I'm your host, Haley Hollinger.
And I'm your host, Bryce Tinson. Haley, the girls' playoffs are set, so let's take a look at the matchups. We've only got two teams in Division 2 this year. Vinton County starts their playoff journey hosting Gallia Academy in a playing game. Should they take the W in that one, they'll take on the 2 seed Unioto.
Athens, despite the great regular season, ends up with the 11th seed having to travel to Jackson. And if they can't upset the Ironmen, they'll be tasked with Sheridan. Division 3 brings us a TVC Hocking versus Ohio matchup with Federal Hocking Lancers taking on the Alexander Spartans. 9 seed Nelsonville-York will face 16 seed Colgrove, and that should be an interesting game. Yeah, Haley, that will be a really good one. NY will most likely play Winchester East if they're able to win it. I can't wait to see how everything plays out, but let's take a look at D4. Division 4, Region 15, we see a lot of the Hocking represented. Southern is matched up with Sciotaville in a play-in game. If they're able to win that, they take on 3-seeded Waterford. South Gallia will take on the winner of Green and Miller. 13 seed Trimble travels to Bainbridge with the goal of upsetting Paint Valley. And to round out the TVC in the playoffs, we've got a battle of the Easterns in Reedsville. Those playoffs races are going to be captivating, and we'll be watching them closely, but conference play still took place this past week and will continue for the boys in this upcoming week. To take us through our first highly anticipated TVC Ohio matchup is Alexander Spartans reporter Daniel Barnard.
Thanks, Haley. All eyes were on star guard Kyler DiAugustino. The boys had the alley ready to rock after their originally scheduled game against River Valley was postponed on Tuesday. This gave Kyler a prime opportunity to surpass the 2,000-point mark in front of the home crowd.
With history on the line, how did Kyler's milestone to be impact the team?
It was no secret. The Spartans clearly had 2K on their minds. They started very sluggish and went into the half down 13 points at 32-19. Kyler found himself 1 point shy of the milestone, only putting up 6 points himself in the half number 1. The second half, however, was a much different story. He was finally able to lay in his 2,000th point, and after a quick celebration, he and the Spartans were off and running.
Just how much did seeing 2,000 go through the net impact Alexander as a team?
Massively. Kyler seemingly took over the game by himself, putting up 24 more the rest of the way, leading his boys all the way back to eventually steal a 54-42 win. The Spartans will remember that moment forever, but not every game looks that glamorous. The Lady Spartans faced a tough Athens team this week, and they struggled to keep pace.
With this unfortunate loss, what did the Alexander girls find themselves struggling with?
As to be expected in a game so lopsided as this one was, Alexander struggled from the field. Juliana Kane and Mallory Sherman were the only two Spartans able to sink multiple shots on the night, and that was in thanks to the Bulldogs' stout defense. They locked down star freshman Kaylee Hudnall, leaving her with 0 points. As a team, they finished the night only making a fifth of their shots, going 6 for 25 from the field, with 10 of their 23 points coming from the free throw line.
And with the season winding down and playoffs looming, what are these girls going to need to do if they hope to catch a spark in time for postseason?
After the game, we talked to Coach Grinstead about just that. She said the team will obviously work on making adjustments on both sides of the ball. However, she noted that effort was the most important thing that they need to improve upon. So we'll see if the Lady Spartans can put that work and effort in as we head into the playoffs.
Thanks, Daniel, and I hope that they do, because effort always wins out, and it can be a game-determining factor.
Yes, it can. Every team's goal is to leave it all on the court, including the Athens Bulldogs. Energy played a big part in both squads' games this week. Starting with the boys, they had a chance to cause some chaos against the teams at the top. To give us that analysis, we welcome in Athens reporter Zach Knight.
Thanks, Bryce. This week, the Athens Bulldogs traveled to Nelsonville-York to face off in a big rivalry game. Athens came out of the gate ready to play. Their team chemistry was at an all-time high. Wheatley owned this quarter, putting up 10 points, including this reverse layup. By the end of the quarter, Athens had 19, holding NY to just 4. The Buckeyes weren't even able to get anything on the board until almost 6 minutes into the first quarter. But even with such a hot start, the cold started to seep into the gymnasium. In the second quarter, cracks started to show for Athens. They only scored 2 points against the Buckeyes, who put up 7 of their own, closing the gap to only 8. After the half, the momentum from Athens was put to a quick stop. Nelsonville-York lit up, especially on defense. Turnovers like these came far too often. Athens was able to stick around, but it was clear the energy the team brought earlier in the game was dwindling. The fourth quarter was more of the same. The Buckeyes were able to pull ahead, and once they did, they didn't look back, sealing the deal with these last few free throws. It was a rough night for Athens. The Buckeyes had the Bulldogs in a shot collar. They couldn't make anything work as the game went on.
It's a tough week for the guys, but the girls had a chance for redemption against Vinton County after an 0-2 week last week. Now, it's been a while since these two teams faced off, so we're going to need a fresh breakdown. To help Zach with that, we welcome Haley to break it down.
Thanks, Bryce. The Vinton County Vikings headed to McAfee Gymnasium to face off against the Athens Bulldogs in a conference matchup that was sure to be eventful. And early on, Vinton County couldn't get anything to go, having trouble getting to the basket.
That's right, Athens' defense was on point. They were forcing turnovers like these left and right.
But eventually, Emma Maynard was able to put up points for Vinton County with his easy 3 with a nice assist from Lindsay Riddle.
Ella Chapman responded with 3 of her own from outside. Chapman led the team with 10 points at the end of the first, which was half of the points from the Bulldogs this quarter.
Vinton County started the second quarter off switching up defensive styles and keeping Athens behind the line.
The Vikings defense was successful in holding the team to the outside, but Ella Chapman was able to hit shots like these from anywhere.
However, Vinton County stepped up with rebounding, and freshman Kylie Smith led the team with 8 boards.
Ultimately, though, Athens came out on top with a final score of 49-35. With this win, Athens did their part, but ultimately landed in second after not receiving the help they needed to get a piece of the pie.
And the Vikings aren't done yet. They're going to play Notre Dame on Monday. As the season wraps up, Vinton County goes up against Gallia Academy first round of the playoff bracket. In order to push ahead in the bracket, the Vinton County Lady Vikings are going to need to focus on their rebounding in the next couple of weeks. Vinton County has been weaker with rebounds, and they have trouble grabbing the board over other teams they play.
This game also brings the Lady Bulldogs season to an end. As they get ready to face Jackson in the first round of the tournament, they'll need to be on point with multiple players putting up big numbers for the team. They were a dominant girls team this season, and in order to push that forward, it's going to take more than just a good night. They're going to need a great one.
Yeah, and it's the same for the Vinton County Vikings if they want to go far.
Now, Haley, the Viking boys season has been the opposite of the girls, but in order to stay on top, they would have to stave off a scrappy Athens team.
Yeah, Bryce, the Bulldogs locked up the Vikings behind the arc. However, once the Vikings were finally able to get past the arc, Garrett Brown could start heating up. Brown ended the game with 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. They led throughout the game, and they only lost it once before quickly gaining it back.
Now, what did VC do defensively to keep the Bulldogs' offense from exploding?
Defensively, Vinton County dominated with 19 rebounds compared to Athens' 12 boards, and it completely changed the game by giving the Vikings more chances to score. Ashton Allman stepped up defensively, counting up 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal as well. And Braden Kane also had 5 rebounds. The Vikings only allowed 15 points in the second half.
Now, it sounds like they played a complete game. What specifics earned them that win?
The Vikings went to the free throw line often. They went to the line 11 times, and 16 of their 58 points came from free throws, as well as defense and shooting. If Vinton County beats both River Valley and Wellston next week, they're going to clinch the TVC Ohio title outright.
Yeah, the title is right there for the taking. Thanks for the great work, Haley. Now, do you want more TVC basketball? You can check out our Facebook and Twitter for game recaps and conference standing updates weekly. Rewatch your favorite plays and shots over and over on our Instagram. You can even take a peek into the TVC student section on our TikTok. For a bit of light reading, go to WOUB.org for written recaps. Ball never stops, and neither does our content. Now we're on to the Nelsonville-York Buckeyes. They've hung around the top of the Ohio standings this season, and that's in large part due to their unique lineups. NY reporter Trey Loddick joins me now to dive deeper into the Buckeye roster construction.
Thank you, Bryce. With such a unique lineup that no one else has in the TVC Ohio, Nelsonville-York has a deep bench that allows them to always keep a fresh rotation. Tuesday night, this lineup was put to use with Landon Inman, AJ Stone, and Dakota Inman, who showed out for the Buckeyes to accomplish this huge victory. The defense was a key part to the game where everyone stepped up in the second half, going on a 15-0 run to start. This led to steals and huge shots for the NY, giving them all the momentum they needed to close out the game.
Now, this was a surprise for the Buckeyes. How were they able to catch the rest of the TVC off guard?
With such a balanced attack for Nelsonville-York, they have exceeded expectations, having their first season over 500 in 12 years. With help from everyone on the team, they were able to accomplish this, which was Coach Gabriel's main goal for the season. With the playoffs approaching, the Buckeyes look to use their loaded roster to their advantage.
Now, the boys were able to take care of business against Wellston. Were the girls also able to come away with a win?
Well, Bryce, the Lady Buckeyes played the River Valley Raiders for a share at the TVC Ohio title. Nelsonville-York was playing for more than a title tonight, as the 4 seniors were honored prior to the game. Era Levy honored the seniors, hitting this deep 3 early in the first. The Raiders, however, weren't going to roll over, as Callie Berger drives to the hoop and puts in this layup with the left hand. Later in the second, Kalina Hernandez gets to the hoop, dishes it off to Emma Fields, who puts up the shot and misses, but Brooklyn Richards is there for the putback. The game was back and forth until the fourth quarter, when River Valley's Berger drains this 3 and throws this dime to Haley Edwards, putting the Raiders up 8 midway through the quarter. The Buckeyes would storm back into this one off the play of Hernandez, who found her way into the paint, putting in this floater that would lead to overtime. In OT, Hernandez would hit this jumper to put the Buckeyes ahead, then Richards would seal the deal with this inbound play, ending an 11-2 run in overtime. She would end with 12 points and 20 rebounds. To clinch the TVC Ohio outright, the Nelsonville-York Buckeyes traveled to Pomeroy later in this week for their last in-conference game.
Thanks, Trey. That's great work right there. That game was destined to be an intense battle, and Haley, Pomeroy is not where I'd want to go if I needed a win.
There is always a big challenge, and with challenge comes the opportunity to rise to the occasion. To decipher this collision between the 2 TVC Ohio powerhouses is Meigs reporter Andrew Bowlby.
Thanks, Haley. Dare I say, Thursday night's matchup was the game of the year. It was poppin' in Pomeroy, with the TVC Ohio coming down to one final game. We knew we would be in for a treat Thursday night, with Meigs needing a win to clinch a share of the title. Early on, Meigs' senior combo of Riley Lyle and Jennifer Parker were on fire. Lyle was feeling it, knocking down 3 triples, and Parker also added 7 points of her own in the opening frame. But don't be deceived. Meigs couldn't get ahead because Era Levy was cooking, casually dropping in 3 after 3, including this 35-footer at the first quarter buzzer. The teams went back and forth the rest of the half, and NY led by 3 at the break. The third quarter was the turning point in this game, as the Buckeyes defense conceded only 4 points. The NY offense kept rolling as Levy couldn't be stopped. She hit 8 threes on the night, setting a new school record. Meigs made a late push, but it was too little too late, as Nelsonville-York clinched the TVC Ohio outright. Although the girls suffered a tough defeat to the Buckeyes, the Marauders still have a lot to be proud of this season. Not many people saw Meigs competing for a TVC Ohio title, and one of the main reasons is unique leadership from a team captain. Meigs reporter Aiden Crowley has the story.
Miss Charlotte Heisel.
Senior night. Every high school athlete's moment to celebrate countless hours in the gym and reflect on the legacy they are leaving. But for Meigs senior Charlotte Heisel, her night looked a little different than most just minutes before. You could find her playing on the junior varsity team to make sure they had enough players to compete.
I just love them, and I mean, they would do anything for me. They push me, and so anything I can do to help them.
Heisel already has an associate's degree and is committed to running track in college, but head coach Heath Hudson says she is always committed to the team first.
She's always there to pick the girls up, always there to encourage everyone else, unselfish player, and we love her to death.
That commitment comes from a bond that goes beyond just the play on the court.
Came in junior high and played because we didn't have enough girls, and she couldn't walk in a straight line and chew gum, and she'll tell you that.
Whenever I started basketball, I had no idea what I was doing. I knew nothing about it. I started way later than everyone else did, but these girls have helped me. They've taught me so much. They've helped me whenever I had no idea what I was doing, and they don't put you down. They build you up and strengthen you and teach you what you want to learn.
Now this team turned family is looking to make a statement, racking up wins in search of a playoff run. But for Heisel and Hudson, it's about playing for one another. For Hardwood Heroes, I'm Aiden Crowley in Pomeroy.
Andrew, I can't wait to see what these girls accomplish in life and the playoffs. They may be out of the conference race, but I heard that the boys can still cause quite a stir.
Haley, the boys have opportunities this week to play spoiler and cause some chaos at the top of the TVC Ohio standings. After losing to Vinton County on Friday, Meigs still has 2 conference games left. They will host the Alexander Spartans on Tuesday night and then travel to Athens for the regular season finale. With Alexander and Athens are competing at the top of the Ohio division, the Marauders have the chance to pull off the upsets and build momentum for the playoffs on the horizon, with Meigs also using these final games to start building their identity for next year. With the majority of the roster featuring underclassmen, the Marauders are building up experience to be better equipped for next season.
Bolby, what does Meigs need to do to potentially pull off the upsets this week?
Well, Haley, the boys need to execute on offense more consistently. There were multiple times in their matchup against Jackson late in the game where Meigs just failed to get a good look on offense. They found themselves missing key shots and having crushing turnovers that ultimately led to them losing the game in overtime.
Andrew, thanks for the analysis, and we'll certainly be keeping an eye on the Marauders. Let's take a look at their conference race. The boys' standings, however, are not set, and if Vinton County loses one of their last 2 in-conference games and Nelsonville-York wins against Alexander, they would have to share the title. Currently, the Vikings are first, being 8-2, and the Buckeyes are second with an 8-3 record. Alexander's in 3rd place, and Athens, Meigs, Wellston, and River Valley are out of the conference race for the year. The TVC Ohio girls standings are set. The Nelsonville-York Buckeyes won the conference crown 11-1 and delivered a loss to Athens last week to secure that spot, and leaving the Bulldogs as the runner-up with 10-2 record. Meigs comes in 3rd to finish out, but the Marauders are still a team to watch out for as playoffs come around, and River Valley falls in 4th, Wellston 5th, Vinton County 6th, and Alexander at the bottom.
Now that we've got the Ohio out of the way, it's time to talk Hocking. The Trimble Tomcats had a very busy week. Both teams were looking for wins as they close out the season. Here to give us the Tomcat rundown is reporter Parker Kapranica.
Bryce, Trimble hosted the South Gallia Rebels in Gloucester on Tuesday. After their loss against Southern last weekend, the Tomcats looked rejuvenated in this one. Trimble started the game off hot and never looked back, countering South Gallia's 3-point barrage with their own fast-paced offense. The Tomcats played well on both ends of the court, coming out on top of the Rebels 77-65.
Now you mentioned they looked rejuvenated, but what specifically did they do differently?
Trimble was flying up and down the court like Mike D'Antoni was coaching. Whether it was after a made shot or a rebound, you can guarantee they would be down the court as fast as possible. That 7 or seconds less style kept the Rebels on their toes all night. They were rarely able to set their defense, leading to plenty of easy buckets for the Tomcats.
Now transition play obviously helps, so how did the Tomcat efficiency turn out?
Bryce, I've got a number for you, 61. That was Trimble's shooting percentage for the game. After going 4 for 18 from 3 against Southern, Coach Howie Caldwell made it clear that the 3-point ball is not the Tomcats' game.
The one thing that we've always done, we don't shoot a great deal of threes. Austin Weiser last year, we let him shoot some. Tyler Weber some. Blake Guffey last year. Career, made 1,928 points. You know how many threes he made? 3 in his career.
We'll have to see if they can keep this renewed mentality down this stretch. But let's jump to the girls' team. How did they fare this week?
Bryce, we saw a classic Lady Tomcats performance in Gloucester. In this matchup against the Lady Lancers, the Tomcats were looking to find some momentum heading towards the postseason. Jaylee Osborne and Rylan Fouts look to prove that they've got next in the TVC for years to come. Osborne started to cook early, showing off her range and helping the Lady Tomcats jump to a 12-2 lead by the end of the first quarter. Trimble excelled in the passing game all night. Look at that dime from Joel Richards to a cutting Fouts for the easy score. And by halftime, Fouts and Osborne combined to score 21 of the Tomcats' 24 total points. In the second half, Federal Hocking started to show signs of life behind Takira Walker's scoring and tenacious defense. However, Trimble continued to play their game and excelled in the cutting lanes. Look at Fouts and that beautiful cut there for another bucket. Despite being outscored in the final quarter, the Lady Tomcats held on to win 50-43. With this win, Trimble seems to be peaking at just the right time. This week, the Lady Tomcats will have 2 more out-of-conference games to wrap up their regular season.
We'll see if they can keep reaching higher. Thank you, Parker. Another team that is constantly striving for the top is the Eastern Eagles.
But sometimes you can't quite make it there, and this week there were a couple upsets brewing in Reedsville. Joining me to discuss the intensity of these matchups and how they'll affect the Eagles' journey into the postseason is Eastern Eagles reporter Lucy Schaefer.
Thanks, Haley. Eagles versus Eagles, but it was only one that would top the nest this week. The Eastern boys showed out in Reedsville, and the performance we got was not only exciting, but shocking. Last time these teams faced off, Belpre defeated Eastern 65-18, but this time was a different story. Eastern came out soaring. Senior Trey Hill held his first start in a couple of games and accounted for 10 of the Eagles' 16 total first quarter points. The energy was tense and the stakes were high, and although the Eagles fought until the very last second, Belpre came out on top 66-61.
Lucy, what happened to the Eagles during that second half that led to a loss in Reedsville?
Haley, the Eagles held a good lead going into the second half, but Belpre came out flaming, outmatching Eastern on the floor and in the net. In the fourth quarter, the Golden Eagles went on a 13-0 run as they dominated possessions and points, leaving Eastern in the dust.
Now, you mentioned Trey Hill and his 10 first quarter points. What about other senior Jace Bullington?
Although he wasn't the lead scorer, it continues to be clear how much Bullington and his presence on the court brings the team together. His impact is beyond clear when his shoes hit the hardwood.
Lucy, that boys' game was intense, but the girls had a tight game as well.
Yeah, Haley, the Lady Eagles traveled to Crown City for a classic TVC Hocking battle, number 1 versus number 3. The Eastern girls are coming off a hot 60-52 win versus the Trimble Tomcats and are looking to improve their record going into the tournament, where they will host their first round opponent in the Eagles' Nest. Led by seniors Sydney Reynolds and Erica Durst, the ladies look to top the Rebels in a hostile South Gallia environment. The team chemistry was very apparent this evening, something that was absent in their tight win against Trimble. The Eagles held control very well and moved with grace in the first 3 quarters of the game. The Rebels and the Eagles played extremely close, but in the fourth quarter, South Gallia seemed to completely light up and leave Eastern behind. The Lady Eagles tried to keep tempo, but moving faster evidently only slowed them down. The Eagles were left blindsided while South Gallia racked up the points and the ladies went down 40-49.
Thanks, Lucy. And unfortunately, this loss against South Gallia counts the Lady Eagles out of the TVC Hocking race. But from what I hear, the Waterford Wildcats are still in it.
Yeah, that's right. They're battling South Gallia for the Hocking title. If Eastern was able to pull off the upset, Waterford would have been in a great spot to win the crown outright, but they still had to take care of business on their own end to even claim a share. Waterford lead reporter Peyton Brooker is joining us to tell us if the Wildcats showed up.
Thanks, Bryce. The Lady Wildcats were down just 1 game left in the TVC, and when a win here would clinch a TVC Hocking title, with the only one going in, it was the Trimble Tomcats. For the Wildcats, the seniors took control of this game as they began to light work into the scoring charts. The two duo squad of Carrie Carney and Maddie Heiner combined with 25 points for this game and controlled the tempo on the court on senior night. The Tomcats were mismanaged for the start of Waterford's defense and stopped them from their tracks with a final score of 49-14.
Now, what did this final game at home mean for those two seniors?
Bryce, these two seniors have been through a time for the past 4 years and made it all the way to a state title. The focus does turn, however, to the future games that come ahead.
Now, what did they have circled on the calendar next?
The next game was a huge rivalry matchup as they take on their Fort Fry Cadets, who should be an intense contest. After this game, Waterford is all in for the playoff as they wait for their future opponent.
Now that we got the lowdown on the girls, let's transition over to the boys. They had a chance to stay alive in the Hocking title hunt, but they would need to beat Federal Hocking to do it. Lancers reporter Gavin Carrick joins Peyton to dissect this one.
Thanks, Bryce. The Lancers went on the road Tuesday night to take on the Waterford Wildcats, looking to continue their magical undefeated run of 16 games in a row.
This game at Waterford Tuesday night started off slow for both sides in the first quarter.
Yeah, Payne, you're absolutely right. But this game found its tempo going into the second quarter. Something I love about this team, they never stop the press. When a team presses like this, it usually ends in turnover or a loss of possession.
For the Wildcats, the attempts to defeat the Lancers' defensive press were stopped after missed shots. A key issue quickly for Waterford came in on the glass, as multiple missed opportunities were stopped by rebounds.
Clutch guys on the floor for the Lancers like Scotty Balch and Ivan Miller dominated the glass in this ballgame. This was a major factor for Federal Hocking on the night.
However, throughout the rest of the game continued to struggle as the Lancers became out of reach.
Federal Hocking took this game on the night 77-49 over the hosting Waterford Wildcats, now clinching the TVC Hocking title.
For the Wildcats, they have to recover as they try to take on Trimble on Tuesday night.
Now we flip the script and talk about the other squad from Stewart, the Lady Lancers.
Yeah, Gavin, that team has been fun to watch this season. How did they play this week?
The Lancers looked to defend their home court on senior night in Stewart. This was a very special game for 3 seniors, Bella McVeigh, Tiffany Allen, and Abby Householder. Federal Hocking appeared to have been shot out of a cannon to start this game. In just the first quarter alone, the Lancers went 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, allowing them to build a solid lead. One of those three-point heroes was senior Bella McVeigh. She is not one of the girls who you want to let get hot.
Gavin, what allows McVeigh to light up the floor like she did?
Bryce, I am so glad you asked. McVeigh can pop up and knock down a shot from just about anywhere on the court. McVeigh also is a team player and a natural leader. She can find an open girl without batting an eye. And to put the cherry on top, she is a very physical ball player as well.
Now looking at this team, it doesn't seem like they're a one-dimensional ball club.
That they are not, Bryce. The Lancers are not a one-girl team. From the freshmen all the way up to the seniors, every single girl on this squad knows that teamwork makes the dream work. Big players from Federal Hocking like Takira Walker and Addison Jackson also helped ignite the Lancers on the night as they took this game 58-22 over the Southern Tornadoes.
It's an awesome way to end the regular season for the Lady Lancers. Let's take a look at where they ended up in the conference. With the TVC Hocking Conference season over, Waterford and South Gallia will share the title after splitting the season series. Eastern finishes third after failing to upset the Rebels. Federal Hocking, as we just heard, finished the season with a dominant win. Trimble finishes fifth after struggling to find consistency throughout the year. Belpre and Southern finish off the girls' side of things. Let's catch up on the boys' standings. The Lancers have won 18 in a row and don't look to be slowing down anytime soon. We got a new number 2 as Belpre has played great ball as of late. Trimble and Waterford both slide a spot down after a rough conference week. Eastern and Southern sit tied 5th with that 2-8 conference record. South Gallia falls to last after losing to Waterford. Now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, Hero of the Week.
That's right, Bryce. And this week, the players made it extremely difficult. There were so many spectacular performances. But for the boys, there was a player who put on a spectacle unlike the rest.
We really only had one option for this one. With history being made, our hero is Kyler DiAgostino. We're used to seeing DiAgostino break the scoreboard, but this week he also broke records in Alexander's game against Trimble.
He's now the highest scorer in the TVC history, scoring 2,000 career points, but that isn't the only reason he's our hero this week. DiAgostino had just 6 points at the end of the first half against the Tomcats, but then he went off and he scored 26 points in the second half.
With those 32 points total, DiAgostino was the highest scorer in the TVC this week. He was pulling from all over the court. But enough about the points. He also excelled on defense, nabbing 4 steals and adding a block.
And by being a true team leader, it'll be exciting to see how he continues to shock the league.
The girls' hero race was tight, but the best performance came in a title-clinching game.
Absolutely, the Buckeyes' Era Levy helped secure Nelsonville-York's spot as number 1 and Levy's spot as our hero. Levy broke records this week, too, breaking Nelsonville-York's girls' record for the most threes made in a game. Levy had 8 threes and 36 points in the Buckeyes games against the Meigs Marauders.
She was feeling it from behind the arc. I mean, these are NBA-range threes that she's letting fly. It's a lot easier to run an offense when you have a player of Levy's caliber that can stretch the floor.
Yeah, and to me, one of the most impressive aspects of stats is how they can display how well-rounded an athlete truly is.
When we talk about 8 rebounds, 5 assists, it's safe to say Levy is the ultimate contributor. It's very fitting that her name will go down in the Nelsonville-York record books. Thank you guys for watching. That's all the hero talk we have for now. It was such a tight race when you talk about Asa Holcomb from Athens putting up 34 points as well. Just a fantastic week all around for the girls.
So many great performances and so many players to choose from. But for now, check out our Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat for updates until we see you next. We have a ton of great content on there that I am very excited for every week. We just have new content out, game recaps, highlights, all that good stuff. But until then, we're reminding you guys
to be heroic.